Hello! Guess what? I beat Bravely Default 2 nights ago, and that was a really long game. It's almost been a year, or it has been a year, I can't remember which. But I put 138 hours and 39 minutes and 39 seconds into the game. I don't know if you can see this. You probably can't because my camera is a piece of crap. Yeah, you can't see that. That's too bad. Well, this video is going to have tons of spoilers because I'm going to be going over all of my strategies I used for Chapter 8 as well as the final fights. So if you don't want spoilers, you need to switch to some other video and turn mine off. This Bandicam software that I'm using, it only records in 10-minute sections because I'm cheap and I don't want to pay for the full version yet. So I'm going to be splitting the video up. As the timers run out, you'll hear me be like, oh my god, I gotta switch. Anyways, so the first fight that I'm going to discuss is the one with Qada, Conjurer Yulyana, Black Mage, Omnias Crow, and Summoner Mephilia. So that's in Chapter 8. If you broke a crystal earlier on and you went straight to Eri and Ouroboros, then you can, I'll try and see if I can put in the comment description where I start talking about that, so you can just skip there. This is talking specifically about Chapter 8, assuming you plowed through all the chapters. And again, it's the 4 bosses. In my opinion, this is by far the hardest fight in the game. Way worse than Eri and Ouroboros combined. So I think it took me 5 days to beat. Anyways, there's really no room for error on this fight. So all of the jobs and sub-jobs and abilities and even armor that I'm wearing is for a reason. You can't really skip out. You can't really sub whatever you want, at least not with the strategy that I'm using. Obviously, I'm hoping everyone else has their own strategies because strategies are awesome, but I'm just sharing mine. Okay, so going right into it, there's a lot of spell damage in the Qada fight, and Qada, I hate him. I really do. Mephilia is no longer a joke. Her stupid fire, I forget the name of it, Girtablulu or whatever. The fire guy will screw you up bad. So, prioritizing magic defense is super important. You'll notice that for Omnias, I should clarify this too. I didn't realize this until the end of the game, but all of the characters, they all have base stats. I didn't think that it mattered, so early on I was like, oh, I'm going to use Omnias as my melee person because I like melee and I like Omnias, and no. Omnias has higher natural base stats for mind and intellect, so she makes a better healer than the rest. Idia is actually your best fighter. Huh, who knew? Okay, so as you can see, Omnias is a salve maker. That's her main job. Her sub job is Red Mage. The reason I chose Salve Maker over White Mage in this particular fight is because White Mage's natural ability, their specialty, sucks. Salve Makers, as you can see here, Healing Lore. Where did it go? It's towards the bottom. Doubles the effectiveness of recovery effects when you use magic abilities or items to restore HP or MP. In other words, you're doing twice as much healing just by being that class. The White Mage one, I don't remember what it's called. It's the stupid one that cures you of status ailments at the end of the fight. That is a waste of an ability. Your ability points are super precious, so don't waste them. Also, you don't need White Mage by the end of the game because Qada and Qada are way too strong. They always heal for 9999 HP. There's no need for that. Cura is all you need, and thankfully, Red Mage already gets Cura. Lastly, the reason I use Salve Maker for Omnias is because, what is it, Resuscitate? I don't remember the name of it. Resurrect. Okay. This heals for a lot. I know that White Mage has the Arise or whatever, and it automatically 9999 reses people, but that's not good enough because you can only do that with one person. And again, you want to save your ability points. You don't want to be spending them where you don't need to. So this is super useful. And Omnias is going to only be used to heal and resurrect. And trust me, you're going to be doing a lot of resurrecting in this fight because Qada will one-shot people. You will notice her abilities She's using the Spell Fencer's Magic Defense Specialized. Let me go to that real quick. This is like one of the most useful classes ever. I didn't think it was useful early on, but man, it's super useful. Okay. Physical defense becomes 50%. So it lowers your physical defense and it increases your magical defense by a lot. I think Yulyana will like melee people and he'll smack them, but like that's not a big deal. You don't need to worry about that because you're going to have enough HP by the end of the game anyways. Okay, so the next is Dual Shields, specifically for Omnias. That is a knight ability and it enables you to obviously equip 2 shields. This is important because Omnias oftentimes is going to be casting things while other people, as you'll see as part of my strategy, are going to be defaulting. So she needs as much beefy defense as possible, especially in the magic defense category. Revenge is something that pretty much everybody gets, and that's because they're constantly casting damage on everybody. So storing up your brave points is super important. You really need to save your brave points. You always need to have more brave points than your the enemy team. And lastly, the dark mage. And revenge is a red mage ability. And then lastly, as you can see, adversity. That's a dark knight ability, and that basically every time you take a portion of damage, a decent portion of damage, your physical attack, all your stuff goes up. Your physical attack, your spell attack, your physical defense, your magic defense. Super important because you're always going to be taking damage, if not dying. It was a toss-up for me between adversity and buff up from performer, but buff up takes up 2 ability points, and like I said, ability points are super important. Okay, moving right along. Okay, Edea. So Edea is main spec a spell fencer, and I think I had a specific reason for that. Wait, I was just under that. What is it? Anti-magic, that's why. Okay, anti-magic raises magic defense by 50% for 4 turns when hit by a magic attack. This is because, as you can see, she's using Slow World. So I had her specifically be a spell fencer just so she could take the anti-magic ability, because there's no room for it. Slow World is going to, every other turn, it's going to reduce everybody's brave points by 1. Again, this is why I have revenge on like all of my characters, because as you're taking damage, you're storing brave points, and you are going to need those badly to deal out as much damage as possible. Damage dispersion, it stacks, so everybody that you have with damage dispersion, it reduces the amount of damage dispersed by however much, but the point is that if only one person has damage dispersion, they're going to take quite a bit of damage up front, whereas if like 3 people have damage dispersion, whoever gets hit by whatever, like Yulyana's stupid staff smack to the head, that will be reduced by quite a bit. Also, damage dispersion is important because your revenge can proc off of damage dispersion, and again, revenge has a chance to give you a brave point anytime you get hit. Damage dispersion is the black mage ability. Slow World comes from the time mage. Going to ring a bell. He is spec. Oh, I forgot to go back to Edea real quick. I'm sorry. So she's a spell fencer, like I said, but her sub job is Swordmaster. Everybody's sub job is Swordmaster, and that is because what is it? Before Swine, I think. Before Swine. Yeah. So that's it does half damage of magic that you attack, and then you counter. And you're always going to be taking damage, so you're always going to be countering. Plus, again, reducing the spell damage is super important. And this is because, who is it? Yulyana? I think Yulyana is the one that casts Reflect. It's either him or Qada. I can't remember which one does it. And then Omnias Crow, that jerk, he'll do like a Firaga on his team, and it'll reflect and push back onto your team. Speaking of which, Reflect. If your team gets that, don't dispel it. Don't dispel it. And that's because they'll actually end up hitting themselves, and they'll do it quite a bit, and that's okay. I've got 10 seconds. All right, I'm going to restart the video, and I'm going to end up losing track of where I was. Okay. So, yeah, I already lost track of where I was. That was only like 2 seconds ago. Reflect. Yeah, don't dispel it. Just don't dispel it. Eventually it will get taken off of your characters, but just don't dispel it. Trust me, it's better to have someone die and lose reflect that way than spend a brave point, or not a brave point, but like a turn to remove it off of all your characters and then do whatever. Like, again, your brave points are super important. Let whoever has reflect on them that's taking damage, let them die, and then you can always resurrect them using the salve maker ability. If you want, you can remove Omnias or whoever you're using as your healer. You can remove the reflection shield off of them so that you can heal yourself up that way, but that's it. Don't bother doing it on anybody else. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. Oh, I've already covered that. Right, so she's a Swordmaster. All right, these guys are also Spell Fencers and Swordmaster again. Did I go over her stuff? Yes, I did. Okay. And that's because, again, you're going to be using Before Swine a lot. You'll see that he's using the White Mage's Magic Defense 10% up. It just increases your Magic Defense by 10%. Again, Magic Defense Specialized. That's a Spell Fencer ability. Damage Dispersion again, and Revenge. And then Tiz, I believe, is the exact same. Yes, Tiz is the exact same. And also, again, because these guys are spec'd Spell Fencers, they're getting the anti-magic. So there's just tons and tons and tons of magic defense going on here. Really, really important. As far as their armor is concerned and their weapons, as you can see here, I'm using the Ice Flame Shield and Bloody Shield. I believe those two are the highest magic defense shields. I know that the Ice Flame one, obviously you can see it nullifies fire and water. This, is that why I did it? That is why I did it. Right. So, Omnias should not be taking damage from Qada's, or I'm sorry, Omnias Crow's stupid fire Firaga he casts. Now, Mephilia, I believe it's physical damage that that she casts. I can't remember. I think it's physical. So that wouldn't help her, but the important thing is that the amount of magic defense it's giving you. So let me check real quick. Yeah, so Bloody Shield gives you the highest. And I know that the Aegis Shield gives you the second highest in terms of magic defense, but again, like I said, the nullifies fire and water is useful because of Omnias Crow. So that's why I did that. The Lamia's tier, or tiara, why did I take that over Holy Miter? I don't know why I took that over Holy Miter. I'm assuming someone else has Holy Miter. Yeah, okay. That's why. So I gave her Lamia's tiara because it is a decent amount of magic defense. Crystal Vest obviously is doing the same thing. And then magic armlets. Yeah, greatly raises mind. Mind is used for healing, I think. Let me check real quick. Yeah, it affects... Mind affects your holy power, your healing power, and intellect affects your magic damage. So you want to stack mind on your healer. I think I already went over this, but Cura is all you need from Red Mage for healing people. And actually, I don't know why this is, but the staff, if you use the... What is it? No, Blessed Shield. I'm sorry. Blessed Shield, it's super useful, but it casts Cura, apparently. It's not as strong as the Cura that you use if you're a White Mage or a Red Mage. I don't know why. It just isn't. Okay. So then, Edea, why did she do Night? I think that's the highest damaging... Yes, okay. Night Emperor is the highest damaging... Why can't I think? The highest damaging... what are these things? Swords. Highest damaging sword. And... What were my abilities on her again? I'm sorry. I'm surprised I didn't give her a shield. Why wouldn't I have given her a shield? She should have had a shield. I think at one point I had her using two-handed, and that might have been why. I'm surprised, but give her a shield if you're not using two-handed. Holy Miter gives a lot more magic defense, and because she doesn't have 2 shields, that's why I did that. Honestly, same goes with these guys. So so the reason I chose Knight Emperor for each, and then I gave Tiz the Rune Blade is because, again, the base stats. Edea hits the hardest, so I gave her the highest damaging sword. And then Ringabel has a decent, he's kind of like well-rounded. He could be in anything. And then Tiz is pretty good at defense, but he's got a high damaging sword. So again, the strategy here is to build your defenses using adversity, as well as your attack, because it builds attack as well. Block as much damage as possible, and win. You're going to be doing a lot of rezzing. Last thing, some people will probably be like, why don't you use a Spirit Master? Well, because unfortunately with Spirit Master, you can't combine the Black Mage's final ability, Group Cast All or whatever it's called. Yeah, Group Cast All. This will enable you to cast, like, let's say you use Cura. Instead of Cura healing one person, you can heal your whole party with it. Or, conversely, if you use Poison, it'll poison the whole team, or attempt to at least. So, you can't combine this with Spirit Master abilities. Spirit Master... Okay, see this? All elemental damage to the selected ally is nullified for 4 turns. One ally can have that. And it's not worth it because, remember, you're going to be having Reflect up all the time. They're going to have Reflect up all the time. You're not going to have enough Brave points to always, like, take off Reflect or do something else. You're just not going to have enough Brave points to do all of this. So, this worked for me. You can change it if you want. But that's how I beat that team, and it was a nightmare. Okay. Moving on to the Aerie fight. Aerie I think was harder than the Aerie Ouroboros fight. Just my opinion though. Okay. So alright, these are a little blurry. I apologize, and I'm running out of time. I've got 2.5 minutes until I gotta make another video. Alright. So for the Aerie fight, she does a lot of like status ailment stuff. So you need to use your abilities as best as possible to eliminate as much of that as possible. Her poison, keeping yourself poisoned is what's going to screw you up the most, because she'll instantly kill anyone that's poisoned. So let me move to Omnias real quick. I'm so sorry, this is the blurriest one yet. Alright, so you'll see that Omnias' main job is a red mage. This is because she gets revenge as your default special ability. So I chose Red Mage over any of the other jobs. Plus, as you can see here, she's using Group Cast All. So the reason I chose this is because you can use Asuna, which Red Mages get, to cure everybody of the poison. Because, again, if you're poisoned, you're going to get one shot. Okay. And why do I have her spec as Dark Arts? I don't think it honestly mattered if she was... Why is Dark Arts? What is so special about Dark Arts? Dark Knight? I'm like totally wasting y'all's time. I totally like don't prepare for these things at all. I just kind of make videos. Oh, I think I know why. This. Start at the beginning. Yes, okay. So... I've got 1 minute. She's using the Dark Knight as her secondary because of that spell right there. At the beginning of a turn, nullify damage from magic attacks during that turn and restore your MP by the amount. So she's healing herself if she takes magic damage. Red mages are fairly weak, so you have to ensure that you're not going to be like overwhelmed by Ares BS. Also, you'll notice, let me go back real quick. Actually, I'll just stay there. You'll notice she's got stop immunity, BP recovery, group cast all. This is because BP recovery, which is a red mage ability. Oh my god, I've got 10 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna just stop right here, make a video, because I actually know what I'm talking about now. Okay, so BP recovery, which is a red mage ability, it allows you to anytime you take a status ailment, so like when Aerie poisons you, for example, your brave points are going to jump by 2. And this is important because you're going to be using your brave points all the time. Stop immunity is important for pretty much everybody to have, because stop is going to screw you up really, really, really bad. So let me back up to Edea. So Edea is Spect Templar as a main. Let's see what Templar gives us. Okay, BP limit up. So she's allowed to have up to 4 brave points. This is important because you don't want, you really don't want Edea running out of brave points. It's really hard, but you don't want her running out of brave points. So what you do is, you'll see here that she's got the dual shields, she's got stop immunity, absorb magic damage. Absorb magic damage is an Arcanist ability that enables you to heal for a portion. You're going to take magic damage and then you're going to heal for a portion of that magic damage. I already went over adversity and BP recovery and dual shields, and again stop immunity. So the reason you're going to use Edea is she has Rampart, which forms a shield around all allies and prevents 1 physical attack. But it's really expensive. It uses 2 brave points. That's why her having BP limit up is so super important. Default when you can. Otherwise, you'll notice that she's her sub job is Swordmaster, and that is so she can, even though she doesn't do a lot of damage, still it's important that you deal out whatever damage you can, even if it takes like a billion turns to get it done. You don't want people dying. So she is capable of doing Nothing Ventured, which reduces the damage that she takes and then counters. As you can see, I really like Swordmasters. Moving on, you'll see that Tiz is a ranger, and he's his sub job is Dark Knight, and once again it's because of that ability that allows you to soak the magic damage. Also, keep in mind, anytime you're storing these brave points from the BP recovery, or revenge in this case for him, you can use both the magic damage absorb from Dark Knight as well as any other attack you have. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You'll see that I have charm immunity on Tiz, and I don't have it on the others. Edea is not going to hit hard enough if she gets charmed. Omnias is just going to cure Aerie, which is like, okay, big deal. You can do that much damage again in the next few turns. You do not want your ranger getting charmed, because if he hits you, it's going to really hurt. And there's a good chance that whatever her Zeta Flare or whatever it's called, the thing that does like massive fire damage, that's going to kill whoever he attacked. So, and you want to eliminate having to spend brave points, because again, Edea at this point, or I'm sorry, not Edea, Omnias is not a salve maker anymore. She can't use resurrect. She has to physically raise and then cure, and it's a slow, that's a 2 brave point process, and you just don't want to do that. And then, where is Ring-a-Bell? Okay, Ring-a-Bell, Monk. So, Ring-a-Bell is your other damage dealer. Monks are very interesting. They're glass cannons. I don't even know why they bothered giving fist weapons in the game, because if you choose the natural, what is it, natural talent, if you choose natural talent, which basically if you're completely naked, your attack goes up by a shit ton. Oh, I'm sorry. It goes up by a lot. I will tell you the difference. I'll show you the difference. One sec. I know you guys are like, oh my god, you're wasting my time. Okay, so I'm not, so, shoot, what was he before? Oh no, ability. I can't show you. Okay, just take my word for it. Like the difference between attack power, because I just screwed up, because I didn't take pictures of my, my Aerie Ouroboros fight. And I don't really remember what he was, so I'm going to have to finagle with that. I know the difference in attack power jumps crazy. You'll go, if you're using fist weapons, even if you have one thing equipped, and that's like bracers or something, some sort of accessory, it doesn't matter. It will lower your attack by a ton. We're talking a difference of like 200 attack points here. So natural talent is the way to go. He's going to die sometimes, but that's okay. Again, Dark Arts is so that you can absorb the damage and still dish out damage yourself. Okay. Again, he's charm immunity because you don't want him hitting any of your guys. It hurts. As for what you should be using on your monk, it's the skill that allows you to attack at the end. Don't use the Phoenix flight on this. Just don't do it. Use Hidden Dragon instead. It does a lot. This will typically, like, let's say your monk has, I don't know, 9,600 HP. If you use Hidden Dragon, there's a good chance that you're going to crit and hit for 9999 anyways, so why bother dealing 9.6k damage when you can deal the full maximum amount and not lose any HP? Yeah, adversity again, it's boosting his attack. This is just to ensure BP recovery is just to ensure that when he gets poisoned, he has brave points. Again, this is used so that way when you get poisoned, you can use Asuna on Omnias, Red Mage, because she has group cast all, so she can cast Asuna on everybody to remove the poison. Okay, so as far as what they're wearing, Yoichi's bow, that's just a high damage attack. There's nothing really special there. Eri is a bug type, and she's also weak to fire, so you're going to use Bug Slayer for your ranger. Everything you can see there that I have on him is just increasing his attack. For Omnias, it doesn't really matter which of the staves you choose. Blessed Shield is just to save on MP, even though it's not really necessary, and sometimes because you don't have the White Mage ability that enables your potency to remain the same. Conservation of life. Oh no, that's not it. Where is it? Oh, epic group cast. The damage dealt and the amount of recovery do not decline when group casting magic. So let's say that, I don't know, Tiz takes a lot of damage and everyone else is at max HP. Yes, Omnias can group cast Cura, but it's not going to heal for a lot. So if you single target, use the Blessed Shield Cura on him, since Blessed Shield's Cura can't be dispersed anyways, you'll have a much higher potent heal that you can cast out. And you'll notice that she's got a lot of like mind stuff, and that's so that she has better healing. Idia is she's using a why can't I think? She's using a pole arm from Valkyrie. That way it does the most damage out of everything, and she's she's got an A with it, so she's going to be doing decent damage. She's kind of a soaker though, so that's why I don't have her wielding two different weapons. I think that's it for those guys. And then as you can see with my monk, he's got absolutely nothing on. Okay, so the final Eri Ouroboros fight. I beat it in like one go. So this strategy, I mean, it's effective, but I gotta figure out what Ring a Bell was, dang it. Let me go ahead and stop the video right now so I can figure out real quick and not waste any more of you guys' time, because this video is already like at 30 minutes, and I'll restart the video. Okay, so I went ahead and took pictures of my characters and everything. The final Eri fight is just kind of a joke. It's just, I kind of just let one or two of my characters do damage, mostly my ranger, as you'll see here. So Tiz is my ranger, and you'll see that he subbed freelancer, so that you need to examine her because she's going to be healing herself. So you always need to re-examine to see how much health. I mean, I guess you don't need to, but that's just my preference. Sub out whatever you want. You can sub job anything. But treat can be occasionally nice if your healer dies, because then you can just, you know, have somebody put a Phoenix down on her and then cast treat, because it actually heals for quite a bit. It heals for more than the X potion or whatever the highest potion is. You will see that Tiz's abilities are adversity. Again, she does massive damage to everybody, so everybody is taking portions of damage that's high enough to proc adversity. Again, adversity increases all of your stuff. Physical attack, magic defense, physical defense. See you in hell. Super awesome ability for this fight, because people are going to be dying all the time. That is the Dark Knight ability that does pretty much 99999 damage whenever you die. I will just show it to you briefly. Here you go. Deal 4 times the damage of conventional attack to all enemies when you suffer a KO. And then you see Angelic Ward. Angelic Ward is just to reduce the initial damage taken. I mean, you still want See You in Hell to proc, but it'd be nice so that you don't have to... Because, like, once adversity keeps stacking and stacking and stacking, you've got a lot of physical attack going out. So your Ranger is going to be bug slaying for a lot of damage. And then you'll see that he's got the Monk ability HP 20% up. That's just so that he can last a few more hits. Okay, moving along to Omnias. She's back to being a salve maker again. Yay! And you'll notice that she's no longer, her sub job is not a red mage or whatever it was before. She's actually doing a white mage. And this is because I did not have I didn't have enough ability points to give her epic group cast or whatever. Group cast all. The one that the black mage ability that allows you to cast something single target and it applies to everybody. So you're going to need to use Esunaga, I think is what it's called. I should have done research. I'm so sorry. Esunaga. Yeah. Okay. So Esunaga, it's just like Kasuna, but it allows you to cast it on everybody anyways. So that is why I did that. And you'll notice that she's using Holy One, which is a Spirit Master ability. And that allows you... Is it Spirit Master? Oh my god. I'm like confusing it with Ion. Yeah, Spirit Master. Okay. So that just... It increases the amount of healing you do. I will show you real quick anyways. Lower the physical attack. Boost the effectiveness of recovery magic. Salve makers already do a crap ton of healing, but this was just to ensure that anytime I cast Cura, it's doing the full amount of heals. And then Revenge is just to build Brave points, which you will be stockpiling anyways. Moving along, Ringabel is a Swordmaster, and he is subbed Holy Arts, which is the Templar class or job. So you're not really going to be using him for damage. That's mostly Tiz's job. His job is mainly to cast Rampart, which again forms a shield and nullifies all physical damage for 1 turn. So he's going to be spending quite a bit of brave points. But also, if he happens to get hit, because Swordmaster's natural ability is counter, which anytime you get physically hit by something, you have a chance to counter for like 1.5 times the amount of damage of a conventional attack. There's a good chance that Aerie might physically attack him and he's going to counter, and then, you know, you've just got that extra damage going out. There's very rarely going to be a time where your Revenge gives you enough brave points that you don't need to recast Rampart and you have extra brave points to spend. If you have extra brave points to spend, go ahead and do Before Swine or Nothing Ventured. I don't remember if her attacks are both magic or not. In this fight, in the previous bug fight, yeah, she's always doing magic. But in this one, I just did it 2 nights ago and I already forgot. I'm so sorry. Anyways, you got Adversity and you got Two-Handed. Two-Handed, it's a knight ability that allows you to deal a lot more damage with 1 thing equipped. And I will show that to you real quick. It's going to be like the longest video ever. Two-Handed. Double a weapon's physical attack. Okay, moving along. All right, here's another glass cannon, Edia. You're just gonna constantly be doing that 1 attack I was showing you guys. Hidden Dragon. You're gonna be constantly using that. She's gonna die, she's gonna cast her little See You in Hell, and she's gonna deal 99999 damage. And honestly, people dying is where most of your damage is coming from. But don't think that you can use See You in Hell on the Qada fight, because that's not going to work. You're going to be spending way too many brave points rezzing people and healing them, and it's going to be a nightmare. Again, Natural Talent is the monk ability that make her naked and she'll do like crazy good damage. One thing to note, Redoubled Effort. That's something I need to talk about as well. That is a Swordmaster ability. And as you can see here, the higher your BP, the more power your physical attack rises. So the idea with this is you're going to stockpile your brave points and then you're just going to use the Hidden Dragon, or I've already forgotten the name of that ability and I don't want to go back to it. So yeah, she's going to be doing 999 damage all the time regardless. But to also ensure that, I should have thought about this beforehand. I don't remember. Sorry. So you know how there's that special ability that you can use anytime you have a weapon that you're using a lot? For rangers, theirs is called Sonic Wave? Crit? Where's the one? I think Sonic... Wait, no, that's not it. Attack 1. Wait. Oh, that's a sword. That's why. I'm like, wait a second. Attack all... Here we go. Okay. Maximum Draw. Maximum Draw is the special ability if you equip a bow and you're constantly using bow abilities. And that you attack 1 and you raise the crit for all of your allies. That pretty much guarantees that anytime Edea attacks, she's going to be doing max damage along with your ranger. Your ranger should be doing minimum like 4.5k damage just from using Bug Slayer, but the crit will obviously help. And because you're constantly firing stuff off on Tiz, you should almost always have maximum draw up at all times. If not, then use Edea's, whatever it's called for monks. Edea's is Moonbeam. Attack 1, physical attack up for all allies. This is less important than crit just because we all know how crits work. And with crits, you're always doing like twice the amount of damage you normally would be. Okay. Moving along. Alright, so you can see he's just got the highest damaging bow, as well as stuff that increases his attack. You will notice that Artemis's bow, a flyer slaying bow, that does not apply to Bug, just so you know. Does not apply to Bug. Omnias has got her typical... I don't know why I use Yggdrasil's staff. You can use whatever you want, but Blessed Shield is kind of necessary, just in case you are running out of MP, because you're going to be constantly spamming Esunaga all the time during this fight. And then you'll notice she's just got like her standard int and mind stuff. Ring a Bell is using... this is actually really important. What is that? Amano Murakumo. That, because it's a dragon, it's a dragon slaying sword, it's going to be super important because when you're fighting Eri the second time, when she's her Ouroboros thing, you go straight to Ouroboros. There is no, oh, I have time to switch my stuff again. So whatever you use to fight Eri is what you're going to be using to fight the final boss anyways. And he's a dragon. So, and I can't remember if she's a dragon or not. She might be a dragon or a bug at this. I don't remember. I think she's either a dragon or a bug, but yeah, she's a bug. I'm sorry. But that's useful because when he counters or whenever he has enough... Oh, shoot. I didn't even see the time. I gotta make another video. Aha! Anyways, whenever you get to the final boss and he counters, or if you have enough brave points to actually do like a nothing ventured or before swine, then you will be doing massive amounts of damage just from that. And then finally, that should be it. That should be it. Oh, Edea. Yeah, Edea's naked again. Okay. That's really it. The whole strategy is to just keep using Bug Slayer until you get to Ouroboros. Then you use Dragon Slayer on your ranger, whoever your ranger is. And if they die, they'll do massive amounts of damage. Your healer is who's always going to shine. So keep casting Esunaga. Get rid of any of the crap that she puts on you. That's really it. I mean, use Resurrect anytime people die and they're using See You in Hell. He's just mainly there to use Rampart to prevent physical damage, which, by the way, you're gonna love that skill. Seriously, it's like the greatest skill ever. It will prevent so many deaths you don't even know. And then finally, she's just a glass cannon. So there really wasn't much to say about the final fight. It was pretty straightforward and easy in my opinion. But anyways, I hope this helped anyone. And if anybody has their own strategies, please feel free to upload them or send them to me or something and I can put them up. I have no idea what I'm even talking about right now. Link them, put them up on your own channel, put them as a comment to mine, link it to your channel, I don't care. Or just put it in chat, whatever. Finally, I want to close by saying I never used Bravely Second. I never did that. I used my sleep potion really early on when I first got it because I was like, ooh, what's this thing do? And then like you can't ever get it back. So, Yeah, I don't bother doing that. I think it's kind of like cheap because I've figured out a way to get my monk to be doing like 90,000 damage, and that pretty much can one-shot almost any boss in this game. So yeah, I don't do that. Anyways, I hope people are still playing this game, and yeah, see you next time about whatever it is I'm going to be making a video about. Goodbye!